Hey everyone, Ken here with Ken's Creations and Chalk Couture. Last weekend we attended our Chalk Couture tour of Seattle, and I wanted to submit an artwork piece, and today I'm going to show you how to create it. For Chalk Couture products, we're going to be using the 10" by 10" boutique board square and the 6.5" by 18.5" box frames. We'll also be using the chalkable chips, and for accessories we'll have our fuzzing cloth, a wide variety of squeegees and multi-tool, the spring icon, No Place Like Home, and modern floral silk screens. We're going to start by opening up our box frame. Now, make sure you do not put your blade too deep because this is double-sided and you do not want to ruin the finish on that dark side. Now, I am trying to match the stain of the birdhouses. So I'm going to be using a wide variety of paint. The first paint I put down is called coffee. The next is cream, and then just a little bit of dark brown. You're going to see me going back and forth between the layers and drying it, and the final is going to be a brush mark, and we'll get this result. Now, these bird boxes I got at Michael's, the pink matches our peony perfect, and of course the white matches our bright white, but I don't have any blue or green to match these two, so we are going to custom make a color. Grab an empty jar and let's have some fun. Now, I always start with the color closest to the bird box, and in this case, that is going to be the ocean mist. We'll start with 2 scoops of the ocean mist, and now we're going to add a little bit of the couture teal into this jar. We're going to mix until we get to the desired color of that bird cage. Now, I'm just using our stir sticks to mix this, but mix it really good, and then I just put it directly right up to the birdhouse to see if that color matches, which it is. So once again, you're looking at about 2 scoops of morning sky and 1 scoop of couture teal. You can always add color, you can't take color back. Now for the green, same concept. I didn't have anything that matched, so I'm going to take eucalyptus and parakeet and put that in an empty jar. We're going to start with the eucalyptus actually, and I start actually with about 2 scoops of the eucalyptus, and I do 1 scoop of the parakeet. Once again, grab a stir stick and make sure this is mixed really good and check for color. Can't stress this enough, you can always add color, but it's really hard to take color away. So always start with your base color being as close to the bird box and then add the secondary color. But now we have perfect colors to match all 4 birdhouses. Time to turn our attention to the back display of the project. Now I'm using the 10" square boutique boards, but I want to have 1 display in the background. So we're going to be doing this process 4 times. Now I will start with peony and then use the other colors. Now whenever I'm doing multiple colors, you want to start really thick in the beginning. So we'll first put the peony on pretty thick, that blue color we created, bright white, and then the green on all of the leaves really thick. Then remove your paste going backwards. So the green, white, blue, and peony, and look at that, amazing. Now the display is going to be glued together, but these 10" boards do have holes that you would usually hang with twine. We want those facing each other because our box frame will cover that, and we'll use hot glue to make that happen. So turning our attention to the birdhouses in the front, I wanted to add something, so I'm going to add these chalkable chips and match to the color of the birdhouse. I'll also raise them up with foam squares, which gives it a really nice look. We have this spring icon set, so you can add anything. I'm doing the bird and the wreath. Now you'll notice when I do this, I go directly from color to color. So as long as you go from the light color to the dark color, there's no need to clean your transfer. It's just not getting that transfer cloth. So you'll notice me go straight from the pink and blue. Just remove the excess paste, peel, place, put the blue, perfection, love it. Once you have the chalkable chips done, we are going to raise this up from the birdhouse using foam squares. And I wanted it to be pretty elevated, so I used 3 foam squares. Now I did put Krylon spray on this so it doesn't scrape off when I was removing the foam squares, so that was pretty important. But look at how cute they are, I love them. And it matches perfect. Time to move on to the main sentiment of the board. We're going to be using that box frame that we hand colored. We're going to put "There's No Place Like Home." Now, because we painted this box frame, we need to make sure A, it's dry, but B, we use that fuzzing cloth really good so it doesn't pull up our paint. Of course, you want to make sure alignment is perfect. So grab a measuring tape and measure on both sides, and of course your height, because you want to make sure it's nice and even. You could also use a laser level. Once you have it in the place you like it, use our 4" squeegee to make sure there is no bubbles or I'll be applying the black Chalkology paste, and I'll put on a pretty ample amount, remove the excess, put it back in the jar, and this just pops on this board, you guys. Look at it. It is beautiful. grab your hair dryer, and on the cool setting, we're going to dry this. Now, sometimes your wood will have a little crack in it and you might have to fix it. Just grab an ultra fine tip paintbrush and you can easily fix any small mistake. Now, make sure this is dry real good before we move our attention onto the home. Same process, we're going to measure to make sure it's straight, centered, all of that good jazz. Grab the 4-inch squeegee. Make sure there's no bubbles, ripples, all that good stuff, and add our Chalkology paste. Now, the home does have a little bit of distressing, which is great because if you make a mistake, it won't be noticeable because it already has some parts missing in it. Remove the excess chalk paste, put it back in the jar, and I love the finished result of this black on this hand-painted box frame. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a peek at that. Once we're finished, grab that dryer one more time on the cool setting and we're going to dry this. Now, these box frames do have a slight frame around them. And I wanted to cover this in the black Chalkology paste. So I'm going to grab the Thermal Web purple tape, make sure it is all taped off. All of my edges are nice and crisp. And just using some foam brush, I will just go along the entire perimeter of this box frame and remove the purple tape. And it just completed this and it looks perfect. I absolutely love how it just frames this sentiment perfectly. We'll remove that purple tape and just look at that. So the overall look before we make it to Seattle is going to be this. Now, this would not fit in my suitcase, so I did have to wrap this and take this individually over to Seattle, but I still wanted to give you a quick look of what it was going to look like. So let's jump on a plane, head over to Seattle, and look, we're in our hotel room. I am going to grab my Ryobi hot glue gun, and we're going to make sure all of the back pieces are glued nice and hot together. Now, make sure that those holes are facing each other because that's what's going to be covered by our box frame. So glue all 4 pieces together. And then we're going to add supports in the back. Now, you can use our basin board, or at the dollar store, they have these chalkboards, but we do have to re-secure this so that way we can attach it to this shelf. Now, what I did is just kind of see placement of where I wanted it, and I'm going to add the support pieces onto the back first. So this will be what's attached to the shelf, and then my background can easily slide onto those. So once again, this glue gun is amazing. If you don't have it, you need to add it to your arsenal. It gets hot, it's easy to use, and it holds extremely well. We'll finish the back with more pieces, and now we can hot glue our There's No Place Like Home onto the front, add the bird houses, and voila. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. Well, thank you for watching today's project. For all of your links, look below in the video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.